is a jam-packed show. We're talking about the biggest position battles heading into the offseason.
And we got the coaches back on the field for the first time with the players. What are they working on? And I'm fired up. Did they rank my wide receiver group number 11? Blasphemy.
And a different type of film breakdown with Casey Toohill.
Right now. And welcome on in. Julie Donaldson with Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, and Logan Paulson. And the players are continuing their off-season workouts. They are on the field with the coaches. It's our first chance to see Eric Bieniemy at work. And that is exactly what they are doing, putting the team through some drills. But we're not seeing too much of the installs, but we get a good look here. Sam Howell, Tana.
Tossing the ball around to some of those guys who are going to be scoring those tugs this year. And I feel good about Eric Bieniemy because I practiced with him before, and he's going to be animated and full of energy. I love that.
And it's great to see, Bieniemy out there kind of getting the offense in his language, getting everyone speaking the same kind of verbiage. That's fantastic.
Look, this is just voluntary, so guys don't necessarily have to be here, but you really want. And of course, look, EB being a running back himself, we will hear coming up Brian Robinson talking about how that's already making an impact on his game. This is our mission debrief presented by FedEx, where now meets next.
We got a long way to go. Who got it? Okay, let's go. This is where it goes, man. If you want to go where we want to go, it's all about us, man. Let's get it done. Offense on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Offense.
Look, it's been a long time since we've had the opportunity to see coaches and players on the field. But we can see the drills, but what are we not seeing? What are they trying to do right now and accomplish?
Well, the thing about it is, it's the first time you get all the players in. You get to see what your team looks like. You get to see what you need, what you don't need, who is better than they was last year, what the team looks like actually, and I think you get to touch, see, and feel it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, a lot of teams used to start with a day one install, kind of this is our first run, this is our first pass. Now a lot of teams are moving to 2-minute red zone situational stuff early in the process. So I think I've seen a little bit of that. I think that'll be really interesting to see how Eric Bieniemy and he installs this offense.
And then some of these coaches want to see also who came in ready. You know what I mean? Guys use this moment to get in shape and get ready. They want to see who's focused and who's ready to go out there and attack things from the start.
I was just looking as I see this very athletic catch by Terry McLaurin. It is a testament right now to be able to see who's kept up during their time away and who's going to be sore and kind of be working their way through as you do advance in the program. Look, as you bring new players in, that always means competition. During the free agency, they brought in Nick Gates. In the draft, they drafted Ricky Stromberg, and unfortunately that meant Chase Roulier, whom everybody loved. We loved what he did on the field, was released. It's life of the business, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just something, again, we all saw coming. Obviously, when you're only playing 10 games the last 2 years, it's tough to kind of say, I deserve that paycheck, I deserve that roster spot. And in some ways, it's better for Chase. You can go to a new team and actually get a starting position with that new organization, get a fresh start. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes that's the best situation for a player. But that's kind of what the draft does. You got to open spots for more roster positions because you got new guys coming in, open up salary cap like you were just talking about, Fred. And so, again, offensive line is going to be musical chairs for the next couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And it piled. We got the same thing going in the DB room. Where you drafted 2 or 3 draft picks, and now it piles on in the room, and now we got questions asking, what's going to happen with Fuller? Who's going to start at free safety? Who's going to start at strong safety? What's going to happen with Cameron Curl? So at the end of the day, when it happens, but this is the time you work it out. And those are always good problems. You want to be able to say, hey, we draft good enough to go out here and replace some of those guys, and we have a good enough roster of guys that we can sit out there and really see who's going to, push each other out.
Yeah, the coach once told me you want to cut good football players. You want your roster to be so deep that you have to make these tough decisions. So I think that's what we're seeing now. They've done a really good job constructing this roster, and now you got to see kind of the consequences of that.
So the rookies are going to be coming in this weekend, and we already know they're going to try and do their best to impress, to be able to say, hey, look at me, this is why you drafted me, this is why I belong here, and why I should be someone you're considering for more playing time. But what are the vets trying to do right now, having been around the block a few times, to say, wait a second, don't write me off just yet?
Well, first of all, get healthy. The one thing about it is, this is the only time we actually healthy the whole year. Because once the season starts and training camp starts, we all nicked and hurt in some kind of way. Get healthy and let them know that I'm available. The best ability is availability.
And Teddy, you know this too. For the offense, you're learning the offense. We just talked about how they're putting in 2-minute red zone. They're putting in their day one install. Now's the time where you start building that relationship with EB and the new coaches. Offensive line have a new coach, a guy that's been around, but how does that relationship work out? And this is the foundational period, I think, for that, Tim.
I think this is the period also when you talk about learning the offense and being healthy. This is the time when you want to sit there and say, I need to make sure I got all my ducks in a row now. We can all play this game. We all here for a reason because we have the athletic
that ability to go out there on the field. But if you're not in that playbook, if you don't know your assignment, you can't go out there and do it on the field.
Look, Brian Robinson was talking about just that. This is a new offense with Eric Bieniemy coming in and taking over as OC. And he says, look, it's as much of what you do on the field as you do in the workbook. And here's how EB is already impacting this offense and his game in particular. Time for our Field Pass, brought to you by the Washington Times. You've been able to get on the field now for a few days with the coaches. What is it like having Eric Bieniemy out there?
Well, it's been exciting again. He's very high intensity guy. He's definitely showing us, why he wants to be here. His purpose of being here, and it's it's a work in progress. Just getting started. But I feel like we taking the steps needed, to go in the direction we want to go. We taking those steps every single day. With him being out there, and I'm just excited to see what all he has for us.
So what is that why that he tells you that he's here?
I mean, he want to win. He come from a winning organization. He knows what type of caliber players he has, and he knows the game plan to put a winning team on the field. And we just gotta follow up behind him and just do the things he's trying to preach to us, and what he's trying to coach to us to put us in a winning situation.
Look, Brian Robinson missed the first 4 games of the season, but his rookie season was still one that is quite impressive. If you take a look at the numbers, he was 6th in rushing yards, 5th in rush attempts, and 3rd in yards per game. We are always trying to bring you great content, which is why these guys are just chit-chatting amongst themselves about football, maybe a little bit of fashion, which is why I'm stepping out and just watching. But it's called Command Center Podcast. You can get it wherever you get all of your podcasts. It seems to be a lot of fun. Now, this is the time of year where everybody likes to start doing their rankings of teams and position groups. And Mike Clay of ESPN is ranking the wide receivers. And while out of the top 10 is Washington. And well, that means Washington is got Fred all fired up.
Blasphemy! Blast!
Fred's fired up. Presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the Washington Commanders.
Yes, I'm fired up. And this week, I'm not just fired up about what they said about my wide receivers. I'm fired up about that man's beard right there.
All that gray in there.
It just shows the truth. Gray is wisdom. All right, here goes some wisdom I'm about to share with y'all. How is 11 teams picked before us ranking our wide receivers?
I don't know.
So you're telling me you showed no respect to Terry McLaurin? No respect to Jahan Dotson? No respect to Curtis Samuel? Who they got in front of them? Name better guys than the group we got.
I'm gonna say, what about Dallas, Fred?
Dallas stinks. All right, let me tell you what's going on with Dallas. All right, CD Lamb, they number 1 receiver, regular athletic. All right, at the end of the day, Gallup, regular athletic. Regular athletic. All right, at the end of the day, let's talk about the truth. Nobody ever want to talk about the truth. The truth is, what about Arizona? Oh, Arizona's a lie. A pair of lip, a tell a lie. All right, this is what we know about Arizona. First of all, their quarterback's 3 feet tall. Second of all, Hopkins is the best thing they got. We're talking about a group. We're not talking about independent guys. We're talking about a group. Minnesota is put ahead of them. They got one guy, Jefferson.
And a rookie.
And a rookie. How is that even possible?
Is Jahan better than a rookie?
Yes, he is.
Tell him why.
All right, Jahan is one of those guys. He's not our number 2 receiver. He's a 1B. Like, you need to learn the difference in that. That means he could be your number 1 wide receiver. He just happened to be our number 2.
We got Terry.
So at the end of the day, let's just be honest, people. All right? People tell lies. That don't mean you gotta listen to them. All right? That's what I'm fired up about. Don't do that to my team, and don't do that to my wide receivers. Please don't. Don't do it.
Everybody needs to listen to Fred next time. I mean, take a look at the numbers. Terry McLaurin, his 3rd straight 1,000-yard season. Jahan finished tied for 1st among rookies with 7 receiving touchdowns despite missing 5 games due to injury. And, of course, Curtis Samuel getting in the mix. And last month, several members of the Commanders were invited for a private tour of the Pentagon. During their trip, players met with military leadership and guests at the Pentagon, signing autographs and distributing team gear. One of the players in attendance was defensive end Casey Toohill, and he's standing by with Logan. It is time to go inside the film room, presented by Amino. It pays to be healthy.
Casey, man, that looked like a pretty good time. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out, bud.
Absolutely.
How was the Pentagon?
Pentagon was great. Major Tuddy gave a very
What does his voice sound like?
He was silent, but he used a lot of hand gestures.
Oh, hand gestures?
A lot of geopolitical talk with his hands, miming out countries.
Does he have hands or is it hooves?
I mean, I want to be inclusive. So hands.
Okay, that's fair enough.
He's half pig, half man.
Yeah, so it's kind of like of two worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he did a great job, even though he forgot his costume and they had to get it later.
No, he did not.
Who knows?
All right. Well, Casey, you're lucky. You're very fortunate today.
Thank
right?
you.
Because you were going to play a game. Guess that play. These are 3 of your plays from the season.
Okay.
Ones that I liked. And so you got to guess what they are. Based on the game, which is this is a Chicago game. It is 1st and 10 on the 31. What play do you think it is?
Okay, I know this one.
Do you?
I think I know this one.
Because I probably
this
told you
is a play where I might get a little praise, but I actually get knocked down.
Yeah, you do. This is it.
So we'll start the play. We'll watch it.
So no, tell me the play. What happens?
So just a little inverted tight end wing.
Yes,
thing.
inverted tight end wing.
He
Yep.
blocks down on me, get a little tripped up,
Yep, and then you fall on the ground.
and then I fall on the ground.
And that's why I love
And
this
that's
play.
it.
That's the end of the play, right there. Right there, there it is.
That's good.
But that's not why I like the play.
Here we go.
Why do I like the play?
Yeah, tell me.
Why? You tell me why. You know what happens. Tell me
He gets
about the
up.
play. He gets up.
He gets up.
He gets up. And Casey, you're pretty fast, right?
And he's just, oh my God, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And he almost fell down again, which I like too.
Okay, maybe not.
And we're
But then-
running. We're running. We're running.
Yes.
We're running.
Yes.
We're running. And
that-
that's a tackle that's about 45 yards down the field, Fred.
I like it.
Yes.
That's what football looks like
That's all
right there.
about.
You
That's
fail first, you succeed last.
Here's the
Excellent.
thing. I could not breathe after this happened.
Yeah, and so
It was a lot of running.
go to
But
the
you know what?
sideline, get some oxygen.
Yeah, so it started out bad, but that's what I like,
Yes.
try to make up for it. Try
I
to make
respect
something
that.
good happen.
That's
We got
excellent.
up a little slowly.
Okay, so here we go. We
Okay.
got the Texans game, right?
Yes,
It's
Texans.
fourth quarter. Ball's on the 3-yard line going in. This is a good play that you had. So
Okay.
do you know what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I tackle the running back, little TFL.
A little TFL.
yeah, a little
no
TFL.
big deal. Here we go. This is one of my
Know
favorite
my
things about your
responsibilities.
game right here, right?
Know
Knowing
it.
your responsibilities. Excellent get off. And watch you. This tight end is bad, but this is a great job by you getting off, and then great
little
TFL
dig
right
there,
there.
but okay. Yeah.
Looks kind of like an athlete there. Fred.
No, he is an athlete from Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford. Not a lot of athletes at Stanford. though.
Not at all. We're smart and we're capable.
Very explosive.
He went to UCLA.
Very explosive.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go. Tana's got your back there.
Okay,
so.
now I don't have no idea what the next
We'll
play is.
see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, what is that?
That's a dog.
I got a lot of
All right, so you should know this
here
one.
we go.
We know this one. It's
go.
the fourth quarter. There's
do know
5
this.
seconds left. What happens?
So it's last play of the game.
Last play of the game.
We're getting ready for anything.
Yes, and
Okay.
yeah, look, we're all over the place. Here you
We're
are down
getting
here.
ready. We're expecting a pass, right? They try to do a little nonsense play.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm just in the right spot at the right time. Didn't really get a great rush, but
Yeah,
then
they're doing the okie doke, right?
throws it backwards.
And who's there?
I'm there, and I'm like, is this
Our
your
guy is
right?
there. Touchdown. And then, okay, no.
Push down.
So let me just see
Let's
it.
see the celebration.
Okay, what do we got here, guys?
Let's see.
What do we call that? The Griddy. Can we see it? Come on, let me see it. What is it? What do we got, Tanner? I don't know if I got it. What is it? That's it. That's it. So I see it? Okay,
No,
thank
I
you.
only do that in season.
It's-
And honestly, yeah, it was a good time.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Another
That's pretty good, right?
It was. I
that
get it
was a
Griddy
cool-
3 thumbs out.
Cool moment. Great game.
Yes.
Just was enjoying that. Not a great dancer, but you know what? I'll improve.
Yes,
I'm
you'll
putting in the
improve.
reps. I'm at home. I'm in the mirror.
It fit the
Okay,
moment.
Fit the moment.
There you go.
I'm not doing it, but I'm
Okay,
saying I'm in the
I
mirror at home.
Ooh, I got scared there for a
improving.
I
second.
never even tried this, so it's
All right,
good.
so because we cut up on you a little bit, I
Sure,
put a couple
sure.
plays in here
Okay.
for my career, and I just want some feedback. I know
Yeah,
you've got a lot of swag. You actually
go,
danced.
Logan.
You
Let's see what
actually
you got
danced
going on.
after a touchdown. I never did that one time in my career.
They don't
So here we go.
So you're right here, okay?
Yes, I'm
so I
excited.
know I've seen the show before. Logan
Yeah.
does a lot of like pre-snap reads.
He does. He
So
does.
that's my thing too.
Yeah.
So by looking at him, by
Look at
looking
his
at his shoes, his socks, his overall body
That
confidence,
extra bar on the face mask thing.
I would say, let's see if I can draw here. I would say no drip. No drip. And I didn't draw that exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
But
that's
I would
close
say
enough.
no swag. The
No
second thing-
swag.
Second thing, this guy's kind of far off the ball.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Logan smells pretty bad.
That's true, yeah.
So the little,
running
little
around.
smell lines,
And
running
so,
around.
and, I fumbled the ball here, and I just want
Okay.
some feedback
No,
on
no.
what I should have been doing
Let's see.
differently here.
Okay, so I would say, so you catch the ball. That's good.
Yeah,
'cause that's
good.
your job.
Yeah,
So you did
catch
your
the
job.
ball, catch the ball, and then what about this? Probably not the best.
So don't let him do that to you, I would say.
Yes. His longest pass of all time.
This is, oh.
Yes, and he fumbles. The Rock. He's
So that's what we call.
Why are we gonna do my dog?
He's a blocker.
That's what we call fumbling the bag.
Fumbling the bag.
Fumbling the bag.
I know. Hey, this is what I was good at, Tim. I was good at this type of stuff. Little power block back to the linebacker.
Okay, so we really got that's that play.
Yeah, I got to get clear of that, right?
That's
Just
good.
pin Griddy.
That's good.
Griddy.
And
And then,
He kind of got at you. Do you remember this guy?
Yeah, Conti. And so I remember
Conti.
him. This is
Okay.
him right here, too. He's right hanging out over here.
Okay.
And he seems far away from this play,
I'm talking about
I'm over here.
Revenge.
Yeah, and I'm like,
talking about.
I'm not going to forget that guy. Number 47.
me
Here we
get
go.
me.
So here we go.
Let's help Trent
You're
out.
running.
Make sure Trent gets that block.
Yep,
Good
that's
job by
good.
Trent. And I'm
Now
like,
watch this bully.
plays kind of over. Oh.
That's just bad football right there. That's bad
You
football.
probably hate that.
You cut the guy 40 yards downfield.
Yeah, that's not
You
your
gotta
best.
do what you gotta do.
That's not your
Get
best.
back.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Hey, Casey, thanks so much for joining. And guys watching at home, you guys leave it great comments, great questions. We're gonna get to those now. A little sneak peek of some of the questions we've answered. Here we go. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
I want to know how he's going to throw to Terry. I want to know how he's going to throw to Jahan and Curtis. Those relationships are more important to me, but I definitely think this can only be a benefit for Dyami.
Well, I don't think I'm with you. I don't think that they rekindled it because Terry is the alpha
Yes,
male.
right.
I like Curtis is. I think Curtis is the one that's gonna really open up people's eyes this year and show that he can make plays, especially because of Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
He's used to dealing with a guy like Curtis. He's gonna put him in the screen plays.
Yeah.
They will be Curtis Samuel. So I think that marriage will be there.
But Dyami will become a great asset.
A lot of you may have been asking about the schedule release. Well, we have a special command center coming your way Thursday night, recapping all of Washington's matchups this season. You don't want to miss it. It's coming at 8 p.m. He's got a hot take. Tana goes off. Your takes this week?
I'm gonna be talking a little bit about B-Rob. I'm talking about who's my underdog and who we gonna be beasting on in the NFC East and the AFC East this year.
And also, what about the royalty in the NFL? It's Tana's takes. Here's a preview.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a crown for Corbett there. I think that's great advice. And all those old heads, when they got something to say, you should listen to them. And that seems counterintuitive, but obviously that's super helpful. Those guys get going so fast, they're trying so hard. It's so important to them. Take a breath, digest it.
You with it. Fire. But I had to bring it back with a turn. I'm just saying, fire what Wayne Corbett said, but he was hating on the youngster Santana because Santana was faster than Weezy at the time and he was hating.
So we all know the NFC East is one of the best rivalries in the NFL, and welcome onto it, DeAndre Swift. Traded on draft day from the Lions to the Eagles. He selected number 0, Fred, and asked why, because he said that's how many NFC Championship games the Cowboys have been to in his lifetime, born in 1999.
Welcome to the division, but coming here throwing though, he come in there throwing rocks. I got one thing for him, and it's the Jordan crowd.
Look, the last time they went was 1996, and not to get in and throw too many stones, Micah Parsons, he said, boy, you just got on the block, though.
Yeah.
Joining it.
I mean, it is
It's
to
fun.
me. To me, it's kind of crazy that that's the first thing you do. You pick your number. You're taking a shot into the division rival. I mean, I get it. I love the fire. I love the energy. But man, that just seems like kind of catching strays out of left field a little bit.
I say until you have a dose of these teams in this division and see how it is to go up against each other twice a year. Talk is cheap, man.
But that's that's your philosophy. And you, a lot of these young guys, man, they're out there just chirping right away, right?
But
So.
isn't
he'll find out real soon.
Isn't that part of it? Like, we constantly hear fans talking about cowgirls or whatever.
That's
Don't
good.
the players get into that too?
No, we get into it. It's a part of who we are. But what Tanner said is, learn the yard before you start throwing your stones and stuff like
You gotta
that.
crawl before you walk, man. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a hell of a back. You know, he had a taste of these guys before, so he feels that he can bark that way. You know what I mean? He can talk that way, but you gotta see him twice. So you'll see.
It comes to on the field on game day, but I found it quite interesting. Not just on Twitter does the rivalry come out, but back in your day, Fred. I say back in your day.
Post-Twitter, before Twitter. We used to type each other letters and stuff.
You still had like flip phones coming out. You pull up the receiver thing. But you guys would play hoops against each other.
Yeah, we would text each other on our sidekicks, and we would meet in Dallas.
Sidekick.
Yeah, and we would play basketball in the summertime against each other. It just shows you this division competes on and off the field.
The most hated team in the NFC East for you?
Probably the Cowboys, right? I mean,
Oh, I hate the Giants. I hate New York.
I'm with Fred.
Okay.
New York.
New York. All right, well, look, when it comes to the NFC East, you want to win all of those games. It has not been easy for any team to do that consistently as of late, but it's a new season. You never know. And again, let's throw some shade.
Shade.
I don't know, just close the show out. Close the show out. Sayonara. We'll see you next time, everybody.
That's my shade.
Shade.
Hi, I'm Jeff Dick, Chairman and CEO of Main Street Bank. Every dollar we touch is not our own. Every dollar represents the countless hours spent on the construction site, late nights in the office, time away from family and friends. Remembering this keeps us in touch with what we do and who we do it for. At Main Street Bank, we are honored to be stewards of our clients' dreams, aspirations, and their money. Bank where trust matters and where you matter.
You're still here, which means you love the content. And guess what? We have so much more for you. Just click. There's a ton. Everything. We will keep you up to date. Just make sure you like and subscribe.